Hello, Pisces Sun, Cancer rising. It is time for your year ahead reading. But first of all, let's start with some astrology, just a little bit. With your Cancer rising, this is how other people see you. This is your house of self. And with Cancer there, which is an emotional cardinal card, they initiate things. You're not afraid to take the first step in a relationship. You're not afraid to necessarily ask the person out that you desire, that you're emotionally connected to. You're not afraid to take those first steps. You're also not afraid to be the one that speaks up. You can come off as somebody who's very protective of those that they love and at the same time very nurturing and have a little bit of a mother type nature. Or maybe people comment that she's my second mother or my second, not my second friend. She's my other mother essentially in some way. Now, with that Cancer rising, that means your sun is most likely in the ninth house, which is the house of travel, philosophy, long distance travel, um, philosophy, higher education, religion. You may be very into exploring different religions. And when you're traveling or you're thinking of long distance, like big trips, these are places you want to emotionally connect to, or maybe you already are emotionally connected to, so you like to revisit those places. When it comes to higher education, you could be interested in things like philosophy or religion or even travel in some way, maybe history or archaeology, even. And with your Pisces sun there in that ninth house, you're more interested in, I would say, as far as things like philosophy and other things that you might wish to study, the emotional impact. So, different wars and things like that. What drove them from an emotional perspective more than logic or territory or things like that? Was it more about jealousy? Was it more about words that were said were hurt feelings and things like that? I hope that makes sense. Should be coming through, I hope. All right, let's get into your cards. So, when I laid out the cards, I just labeled them 1 through 12. Your first month or card 1 for you is going to be March 2025. I'll lay out 12 cards, one for each deck, and then we'll get into it. I'll also pull a card from the bottom of the deck for an extra message or overall theme for the year for you. Let's hope my voice hangs in there for the whole reading. And I won't have to take too many breaks. All right, down in month 9, 10, 11, and 12. And on the back of the deck, we have, oh, I like that, the Ace of Swords. This feels like a new start for you, a new beginning, at least when it comes to communicating or maybe how you communicate. Maybe you have a plan going forward to change what you say or when you speak or how you communicate. Maybe instead of verbalizing something, if you're feeling very, very emotional in the moment, maybe instead you want to write or text a message because it comes through logically for you. It flows through that more air elemental side rather than going through that filter of emotions and saying things you may regret. That could be a point of maturity or change for you this year in how you communicate. Or perhaps you're just learning more how to express your emotions in a way that is healthy for you and that is understood and received better by your partner or the people around you in some way. Those are the things that are coming through strongest for me, so I'm going with that, and that is that card for the year. Now, let's get into each of the months individually. And again, month 1 for you here is March 2025. So, King of Wands. Usually, court cards indicate other people that we're interacting with in a given month, and that's where the most influence or the biggest thing is, or the biggest theme for that month is. In your case, with this King of Wands, this is somebody with masculine energy, bold, fiery temperament or personality, somebody who is not afraid to take risks, somebody who is always willing to go after the dream. They may seem, I'm getting like a very boisterous type of personality, although they may not necessarily have that, but at the same time, but they still make bold decisions. They may seem a little reserved on the surface, but when you get to know them, boy, they may not be quiet because they're so excited about what they're passionate about, and they're going to be encouraging you to try and go after your passions. very much like a very enthusiastic cheerleader, successful cheerleader, disciplined, and so on. So this person that you're interacting with this month, this may be somebody you're talking to about some goals that you have in mind, and they're going to help you, encourage you. Maybe you're asking them to share their story, so to help influence you or inspire you to take the risk, to take the chance, to do something that you've always wanted to do, but maybe you always hesitate because there's some fear there. How do they move past the fear? How do they do something when they don't know how it'll turn out, when they're not sure if it's even right or whatever? Gaining inspiration from them about what drives them to try and try and try. And as a fire sign, it's likely to be because you don't know unless you try. Don't let fear get in your way of an opportunity that you really want to pursue. And that may be what they're sharing with you in part. This could also have to do with some sort of venture, like a business partnership with, or something like that you're discussing with them. If you have questions about something, ask them. They may blow past some things just because it's so much a part, or it's so integral to who they are as a person, that it doesn't necessarily always occur to them that not everybody thinks of those things. And they're looking at something as, if I'm passionate about it, if I believe in it, I go for it. And there's no emotional necessarily doubt or fear in the way, or they just push past it. They will barrel past the emotions in order to achieve the goal, where you need to feel yourself through it. You need to feel into each step. Your pace is a little different, and the way you do things is going to be unique to you. They would encourage you to help, or they would help you or encourage you to find your way of doing it in a way that makes sense to you, but they would say, do not let fear stop you, or would likely say that. They may have some, practical tips and tricks on the basics that you should get done and out of the way before you start moving further. But solid advice, just a very good conversation, a lot of back and forth, and very helpful. And then we have another king in month 2, this time the King of Swords, an air element. Perhaps this guy gives you or this person gives you the courage to go for it, but you need a plan. You like to have a plan. The King of Swords would help you come up with a plan. They're not focused they don't care how you feel about anything either. So if you're offended by them, just know that's not necessarily what they were intending. They can seem very cold. They're going to be direct and to the point. They're going to be focused on facts and figures, what it is your goal is, and then how they can help you, or what are the other parameters, the logic, etc. behind it. So again, this could even have to do with taxes. It could have to do with, again, planning for a business, or maybe financial planning or estate planning in some way, or maybe having to do with a 401k or investing that you want to start, or a communication plan in general to keep you on track throughout the year, or maybe even how to get yourself into some sort of a regular schedule on certain things so that you can stay on track for some particular goal. Anyway, they got a lot of ideas. They're really good at it. Again, the masculine, authoritative type leadership style. And again, they don't show their emotions a lot. They don't lead with that. They're more focused on the data itself. And communicating. Communication is going to be very important with them. So if you have a question, put it out there. Blurt it out. Don't feel like, oh, that's a stupid question I shouldn't ask. Always ask them the question. That's what they're there for. They love helping in that way. If they can have information they can share with you that's going to help you move forward, that is what they're here for. So just ask them the questions, and let them help you. So they can give you that, and they can give you the plan. They can come up with something for you on paper or whatever. It's up to you to follow it, though. Just keep that in mind. And then we have the Knight. This first 3 months is all about influencing or interacting with other people for you. With the Knight of Wands. So back into that wand fiery energy, right? But this person is not as evolved, is not at the same level as the King. This person doesn't know how to do it all yet. This person is out there figuring it out as they go. This is about gaining experience, giving things a try. Maybe this is somebody you're considering partnering with in some way, or you're working on a project with. And it may be frustrating you because they're always sure of what they're doing until they mess it up. And then they're like, okay, yeah, so maybe that wasn't the right decision. Let's try this instead. And then they'll go right forward and try that again until they figure out what works for them. This could be frustrating because they have no regret and they don't have that fear there, or they don't seem to have that fear there. Whereas you're a little bit more, you still make quick decisions and you'll decide on things quickly, but you do it from an emotional perspective. So between the two of you, you may struggle to write down the plan, to do the documentation. There it is. To do the documentation, that is the gap the two of you are going to have as a team. You both need to recognize and acknowledge that. And maybe that's why you needed this person here to come up with a plan for this project that involves you need to spend this much time every day doing documentation. These are the documentations you need to have in place by the end of the project. These need to be done, and you need to have check-in points to make sure that you guys are on track for that. So you can come forward with the plan and say, okay, I know neither one of us likes the documentation and doing all of that part, but we need to work together to get this done. Because you feel good about this project. You like this other person, even though they do things, they make the big, bold step forward. You help manage expectations, and you are the calm face of the party. Whereas when you're talking to this person, sometimes you need to be a little bit more firm, and I don't want to say emotional as in being like extremely emotional, but you need to have an impact or make an impact on them when it comes to cautioning them maybe on some of their ideas and things like that. Let them know how you're feeling about how they're handling things. Maybe that's as basic as it is. Okay, now let's get into the rest of it. We're starting off here with the Four of Cups. Cups are our emotions, intuition, so this is your energy. You're familiar with this energy. But this is a sense of being, I want to say the words out of step. It's usually like bored or like something's missing or you want more. This feels more like you're out of step in some way, off kilter for some reason. And because this is cups, there is going to be some sort of, it's going to have to do with the emotions in some way. So maybe you're feeling, because you've had all this interaction with other people, maybe you're feeling just a little bit drained emotionally yourself because of all those interactions and having to focus on this thing. And again, do the boring stuff like the documentation. We have the Four of Cups here. You may just need to take a step back and say, okay, what can I bring in to this that is going to help me keep focus on it or help me feel like I'm making progress in some way? Because that might be what it is you're feeling stagnant, like things aren't moving forward. Even though you are making progress day to day, you're not able to see the big picture yet. You're not able to see the big picture yet, and that might be what's frustrating you. So how can we help with that? You might need to do something, because if you can connect with it emotionally, I think that will help you. So what are some random ideas for this random issue that we can come up with? If it is a work project, add in that when you finish the documentation for this particular document, you can watch that favorite movie that either you bawl at and you love it because it's such an emotional release and you feel really good after, or one that is super funny and has the happy ending. Maybe you can't watch that show or that movie until you finish this. So that is your drive because you want to get to those emotions. You want to feel that. That can be a reward for you or an award for you getting that done and give you something to look forward to and uplift things. Or maybe you just need to check in once a week or more with a close friend of yours or somebody that you connect with on a deeply emotional level and just talk about your days, like on the phone, voice to voice at the least, if you can't meet in person every once in a while as you're doing this. Give yourself some reward that has an emotional component to help spice it up a little bit for you, to help you pull through this. And recognize that it is normal When we get bogged down in the day-to-day routine, especially for the pieces that we don't like to do, it can feel like a slog. And that's normal. But we push through and we find a way to pull ourselves through, which you will do. Because then in month 5, we have the 8 of Coins, which is somebody who is recognized as a master of what they do, a leader, or burgeoning leadership at a minimum, a master of your craft. You're receiving recognition for your work, for a job well done. So maybe you are meeting targets this month, and maybe they didn't anticipate that the two of you would meet targets because you're missing that air element, if you will, in the relationship, or even an earth element in the relationship. The way that you two work together as a team is very unique, but you're getting things together done as a team. That Knight of Wands energy, if the documentation is required, they will push themselves through it, but they're going to make it part of a goal or a milestone as they're doing the different things. But you're the one who seems to be the driver here for success. You're the one who maybe recognized that this was a gap you had, took some proactive steps to come up with a plan and consult some experts on what to do to help you guys make this a success. And those things are working, and you're seeing them through. And you're receiving recognition for that. So be prepared that this recognition can come with more responsibility. Keep that in mind as you're moving forward. But recognition for your success, for a job well done. And then in month 6, we have the 7 of Wands. Staying in that fiery energy, huh? The 7 of Wands is kind of about defending your territory, defending your space, putting up boundaries. You have certain things you want to accomplish in this month. In order to accomplish them, you need to dedicate time to them. But there's going to be a whole bunch of people coming at you, wanting you to help them with their things, maybe as a result of this, and do this and help me with this. It will just take 5 minutes. It will just take 5 minutes. It never takes 5 minutes. You know that. Stand your ground. Say, I do not have time right now. I need to focus on my priorities, which are these. Maybe we can meet on Friday afternoons between 2 and 4 to go over all of your questions and the things that you have to ask me. That is the time I have for you. The rest of this time I need to spend on the things that I need to be focused on. This could even have to do with hobbies or things like that. Maybe everybody wants, again, you to help them with all their different things. That is giving you don't have an opportunity to expend your own creative energy. You're going to need to give them a time limit. You're going to need to put up some boundaries, parameters, whatever you want to call it, to maintain and protect your space in your time. So let yourself do that. Don't be afraid of saying no here in month 6, because you may have to do that a few times. And don't take on any additional responsibilities here in month 6 either. Those can wait. Say, you know what, right now I'm too busy to take that on. Let's talk to me after this is over, or maybe talk to me next month. This month, it's a no. And then we move down here into month 7 with the Chariot card, a major arcana card. The Chariot, Venus is a big part of this card. And your emotions are what you really need to leverage here. Your emotion is an intuition when you're making some big decision. There's a big decision you have to make here in month 7. Once you make it, things are going to fall into place quickly. The wheels will be moving. The Chariot's off. Off you go. Now, this could be about a job change. Maybe you get a job offer unexpectedly from another company or something like that. Maybe this has to do with your making a decision if you're going to move or not, or where you want to move. There's a big decision to make, ultimately. Could be in any area of your life, but it's something you need to make. You need to make it. If you don't make it, then things go off the rails. You're not going to be happy about what's going on, about the choices that were made. So you need to take ownership of this. You need to make the decision. And the best way for you to do that is lean in to how you feel about the options in front of you. Where do you want to go? What feels like the best spot, place, whatever for you? What feels like the best choice in your situation? Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. This is about you. You need to take care of yourself first in this situation. So when you're making this decision, when it's before you, when you need to make it, that's how you lead. Now, once you make that decision, things are going to be put into motion very quickly. So for example, if it is for a new job and maybe you got that offer because of this successful and the word got out in the industry or something, so somebody out of the blue offers you a job at another company, you review it, you decide, okay, you know what, that's the right move for me. You put in your notice, and then they may say, you know what, trade secrets, all that, we're just going to let you go today, but we'll give you severance for those 2 weeks. So now you have 2 weeks off. So things get moving pretty quickly. Or maybe you'll be able to start at the next company much earlier. Or maybe you wanted to put in a month notice and then it's only like 2 weeks or something like that. But right away, things get moving. If this has to do with moving from one place to another, maybe you happen to find a really good deal in the place that you really want to be that feels really good for you. So you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put my rental notice in and then I'm going to accept this one here. I'll move in 2 months. And maybe you find out, you know what, you can move in 1 month. So it comes up much quicker than anticipated. Or maybe you need to make this move in just a week's time. Whichever choice you make, if you feel good about it, it is the right choice for you. Period. This is about trusting you and trusting your intuition. Trusting yourself to make the right decisions for you. And then we jump into the Fool. This would be the month you're starting this new thing, this new job, this new move, whatever it is for you. The Fool is ready to take the leap. They don't know how they're going to get to the goal that they may have in mind, or maybe they don't even have a goal in mind. They're just enjoying the journey. But they're ready to try this new path that they found and head down it and see what happens. They're hopeful, they're excited, and there's a sense of anticipation about what's to come. You don't know how this is going to work out, but it feels good. It feels right. There is this let's go kind of vibe. So let's go. Let's make this happen. That's the energy you have here in month 7. In month 8, we have the 4 of Coins. This is a card where you're kind of conserving your energy. They're holding back a little bit. They're protecting their solar and heart chakras, right? Their confidence and their heart. This is like getting to know this new environment. Getting to know things before you make any changes, before you make any big decisions. You're just kind of holding back a little bit, getting the vibe of the room. You may actually even be saving money, so maybe you're staying at home more in this month. For some reason, it just works out that way. So you're holding back on your resources a little bit, maybe because if you moved, this is a new area, you don't know the fancy restaurants and stuff or people in this neighborhood or anything like that. So you're just staying home, getting familiar with your space again. Or getting familiar and learning the lay of the land at this new job before you commit to making any new friends or anything like that right out of the bat. It's kind of a laid back, chill vibe month where you're just acclimating. That's what I'm getting from it. And then in month 10, we have the King of Cups, another king. Another person who's very much an authority figure. This time with the water element, emotions, intuition. Perhaps you need assistance adjusting to this new place. So you're seeing like a counselor or a coach. Feels more coach vibe. Maybe this is somebody at the new job, if that's what it is. Maybe this is the new landlord helping you navigate your new city or wherever you are. Helping guide you on places to go. Making you feel safe and making you feel understood. There's definitely that emotional connection or vibe. Emotional connection or, no, it's an emotional, you appreciate their guidance. You recognize that they are very confident and understanding and know what to say. And know how to help you navigate through this change in your life. And it's meaningful to you and important to you. and you really, really appreciate the effort that they're making. So this could even be a community leader too. And then we have the Judgment card here in month 11. Judgment is like the graduation card. You have made it to the next level. You are approved. It would be a yes card if there was a yes or no question. This could be along the lines of a promotion. It could be along the lines of reaching a certain savings goal. So now you have a sense of security about where you are. And maybe that's why you held back on resources a bit here in month 9. But you're feeling a sense of accomplishment. You're recognizing your own growth, your own success. And you're really feeling that, and it's now becoming a part of you. There's less uncertainty about what it is you want to do with life, and more confidence in your ability to figure it out as you go, to trust yourself and believe in your choices. Newfound sense of confidence, knowing you're on the right track. And then we're ending the year with the 3 of Wands. I like that as an ending for the year. A sense of anticipation. Plans have been put in place. You have started something. And now you are waiting for the results to come in, where the anticipation is. Or maybe it's as simple as you've made a big purchase here in month 12, and you're just waiting for that package to come through, come in the mail. Maybe you're buying a new car this month. Maybe you've been saving up for that, and this is the month you may purchase it. Or something along those lines where you're excited about it. You can't wait for it to come in. You've done the work. You put things into action. You're taking the steps you need to. Let's see it. Let's see it manifest in front of our eyes now. Making it happen. That's what you're doing here in month 12. And there's also a sense of looking out over the next year with anticipation of what it might bring based on where you are now at that time. And that, Pisces, is what I have for you Pisces Sun, Cancer Rising is what I have for you for your year ahead. Please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please comment below to let me know if this resonated with you or not, and please subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.